beautiful timing. Even when his team's not there, he's able to bob and weave. And Lords are the things that can turn games around. Even if they're a little bit behind in gold, that can be the thing that changes everything.
Bobbing and weaving. I see Naisu.
Yep.
I see you like, you know what?
He's bobbing and weaving.
Approval.
Not of approval. We're going into the drafting phase here where DEVU going up against ONIC. DEVU will be first pick. ONIC is on the second pick. DEVU instantly bans out the Joy as well as the Fanny. ONIC banning out the Fermis as well as the Guinevere. Quite a few jungle bans here, gentlemen.
I like, I'm wondering if, does this warrant a Diggy ban? We talked about it. It was a key to victory. Do you think so, Trex? Is there a warrant for that, or should they just let it slip through since it's game one?
Maybe not game one. Maybe not game one. And then always, does DEVU want to first pick the Diggy? We talked about it last time DEVU played. Me and LaFell were actually on that game. And Sawa plays it so well, he can play it even if it's not just like to counter CC. Like,
exactly.
He plays it damage. At the end of the game, he's using it to zone, create space, and move around the map. So, yes, maybe game 2 or 3, if Sawa decides to pull that card out immediately, it's definitely a possibility.
This Kaja ban is very interesting because for me, when it comes to the Diggy, maybe they're trying to set it up. The one thing that you have to be careful of is, as a Diggy, you don't want to face against a jungler like Kyrie that can deal out a lot of damage, because if the Diggy dies a lot, you're going to lose the stacks. When you lose the stacks, your damage isn't going to be as impressive. So this Kaja ban is very interesting. It looks like maybe they want the 1-1?
In a way, it leaves some things open, right?
A lot of things open. Nolan,
yeah. Nolan, Bruno, still open. Priority, we see that so often now. All right, there's the Nolan. So is this Bruno right away?
1-1.
Or 1-1.
I mean, looking at how ONIC plays, because we got to talk about Carvey as well. Carvey so far is really playing for his team. So having someone like a 1-1 might be beneficial, where you can join in a lot of those team fights. But when you have a Bruno, it's all about the tempo. You want to get as much turrets as you can before the opponents scale up.
I mean, so they could give up the 1-1 as well. They're going to go for the Valentina instead, could give it up, and then still pick up the Diggy later because it resets the weakness points. So if Fly Solo is thinking that deep, right, which we have seen in draft, very particular, we haven't seen him get pushed completely against the wall yet, and this is definitely going to be the series that does that.
Right now the question is, how good has the Valentina been in first pick situations? Because I do feel like at this point, it is a player-based kind of thing, where some players, they do so well that the first pick Valentina is definitely worth it, where other teams are like, other things are more prio.
Yeah. You know, not only that, but, you know, speaking of that, let's see what these two picks are going to be. It looks like it is the Kadena Fredrin. Interesting first picks for ONIC so far, but going back to that point about Valentina, I feel like when you look at it historically throughout M5, even back in the wild card, the thing that made the difference was, of course, who the player was and how aggressive or calculated they were in their aggression, because some players, they play the Valentina pretty passively, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And so if you play too passive, unfortunately, you don't get to shine as much. But then again, you're playing with the fact that, okay, how much are we willing to risk? You know, and then the whole minigame itself of what ultimates do we take, you know, across the board here.
That's why when I play the Valentina, I have trust.
In who?
In myself.
That works.
Don't think, just do. Isn't that right, Trex? If I'm wrong, then just shut up and just move on.
No, you're completely right. You're completely right. Now, they go for the Bruno. They go for the Bruno. I was expecting maybe the 1-1 with the Kadena out, because you can at least kind of get away from that knockup possibly, or at least kind of deal with, you know, a little bit of the CC coming from the Fredrin. They still decide to pick up the Bruno. They give over the 1-1. Now here, I think ONIC could definitely ban out the Diggy in second phase. High chance.
I do agree, and at this point as well, we got to look at the Valentina. What is a value target for her on which ults that you really want to get? Right? For now, not too impactful.
Yeah.
Getting the Kadita's ult, sure, maybe you can burst someone down, especially because the Valentina has 2 dashes, so you can get in prime position to do massive damage. But again, it's like you said, Naisu, I completely agree. You got to be aggressive. You can't be passive. You can't be waiting on the opponents to do something.
Well, you know, given how we already talked about Sunset Lover's performance on the Faramis, you know, before, I think he can be that player, right? He can make that decisive action if he needs to. And there it is, as we were kind of contemplating here.
Oh, yeah.
They might ban the Faramis too, honestly.
Sorry, Ben.
Could,
sorry, Ben.
That's banned out. So maybe that's, again, why DEVU was like, all right, let's just go ahead and pick this up. Love the fact, too, by the way, that we have drums.
Yeah.
Can we take a moment here?
DEVU's drums. That
DEVU's
is not ONIC drums.
Let me just say, they're all the way down there, and we're all the way up here, and we can hear this. We're wearing headsets. We're like...
I have to listen to LaFell?
We're like 11 foot tall.
Wow.
Well, at least I am.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, you are.
You guys are like, what, 9.5?
LaFell's the tallest caster.
Yeah, he is. Well, no.
He said he'd hurt me.
I think you already said I was like 7 foot tall.
Just now when I was standing, I was actually on my knees.
True. That's true.
Minutes are getting banned here. What do you think,
Why were
Trace?
you on your knees?
Yeah, no, because, you know, if the camera was on and I was fully standing at my full potential, you'll just see my groin.
All right.
All right, so Marty's banned as well. I think if they're going to ban the Minotaur, they probably end up banning the Tigreal as well for second ban. High chance. After that, we still need...
I'm looking... Arlet is not the best pick for ONIC, but it could be interesting here because Boots is a setup kind of guy, right?
Here we go. Imagine
5-man
final slash.
Or 5-man penalties. We've seen it.
We have.
Boots has done it. Trex, you cast it for that one.
It's true. It's true.
Hey, he's been imagining
maybe the Lapu.
M5.
Maybe he picks up the Lapu.
Yeah, Lapu as well. Pre-save.
Anything that's divey. Like I feel like the Lapu maybe even over the R-Lot just because he wants to. He wants to jump in.
Oh wait. Glue?
Glue.
I mean, we don't see a lot of glue. Oh, Khalid? Joe getting banned out, so...
Joe getting banned.
What if they're just like, yo, Keyboy, you want the Kadita? This is the scary thing about ONIC. It can be done.
Yeah, the flex.
Like, probably not, but Keyboy has shown he has an amazing Kadita.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's not often, right? Oh, Dyro. It's not often you see the Kadita and the Fredrin on the first pick on the red side, right? For the options there.
Yeah.
At least now in the current state of things, but they go ahead and take up the Dyroth.
I'm surprised. I think this is a great spot. I think DEVU has to pick up the Tigreal here. But it's kind of tough, too, because Kadita's hard to get with that.
Yeah.
1-1's hard to get with that. So is it even worth going for a heavy CC? Maybe pick up something more supportive, like the Raph, or do they even play that?
At this point, having Bruno, having
Matilda is...
They're picking up the Akai, so... I would say this is just a matchup against the Kadita as well as the Fredrin, but...
Matilda? It's open.
I would even say a Rafaela might not be bad.
Always on the way.
But yeah, they're going for a Matilda,
Your team is picking.
All right, and I'm also just kind of thinking here, in terms of the Valentina ults taken so far, you could actually make Abysm Strike work if you actually wanted to go that route, but still, I think the best one for now is the Kadita, especially early game. You can layer that with the penalty zone, right? You can still zone out with the heavy spin, which we see a lot of kind of junglers utilize, right? Zone them out, get them away from that retry range, and then go from there.
Yeah, we definitely don't see the Akai as much anymore, but back when it was just nothing but like Akai, Fredrin, and Martis and this and that, I feel like the Akai does very well against the Fredrin. I think it's like one of the few answers to actually deal with it, but hold on.
I'm sorry, Trex.
You're good.
Called it.
Let's go.
What hero is it?
Keyboy and the Kadita.
Gord. This is my first M5 game where I get to cast a Gord game.
If ONIC loses,
hey,
dude,
it's your fault.
It's your fault.
It's definitely your
fault. No matter what the predictions say, I gotta say,
wait, we haven't shown our predictions.
Yeah, where did they go?
Predictions? Can we get those real quick, please?
Never mind. We're gonna go in game first. We're gonna make it into a surprise. Trex, before we go into the game, what do you think about the drafts?
Honestly, I like DEVU. I think they have a lot of movement. They feel clean. ONIC, the Kadita pick is definitely a little spicy. We haven't seen, Kadita has a very low win rate, low pick rate, hasn't really been picked a whole lot. But if it's going to be on a certain side, wait, was that a Rome? Was that Keyboy, Kadita there?
That's what I've been saying, man. We're jumping into the land of dawn. Well, Keyboy.
It flew under the radar for me.
Like I said, that's why I said during the drafting phase, man, this is about ONIC. ONIC can flex things around. Keyboy on deck Kadita. Can he use that to win? Or will the Matilda Akai combo win it for this folks?
Okay, so I think what we're seeing here on the side of ONIC is they're bringing aggression, and the thing about DEVU is they like to slow down aggression. They like the Diggy pick. They like to try to pace things a little bit slow in the beginning, and I think Coach Yeb sees that. So we're going to lock in the Dyroth. We're going to lock in the level 4 Kadita. We're going to bring in all these things to really try to bring that smoke as quick as possible.
There's a lot of damage potential coming in from ONIC, let me tell you that. Keyboy first item can be that Genius 1, and having Sans on this Gord being a setup as well as reducing the opponent's magic resist, like it's gonna be a lot. For ONIC, they have potential early, mid, and even in late. They got the 1-1, like damage all around.
Yeah, you give plenty of time to allow CW to build up here right on this 1-1 later in the game, but also a lot of this setup potential from both teams. ONIC is kind of scary early on, right? Especially knowing once that level 4 spike comes in, having a Gore there available to you, you're pairing it up with a Kadita. The damage potential early on is what the biggest obstacle right now for DEVU is here as they get it situated.
I want to say this, luckily, ooh, wait a second.
Okay, they're already going to use the heavy spin on Kyrie and Boots. Going to lock him down under the turret! Kyrie is taken out. First blood for DEVU here. All leading into that turtle 20 seconds away.
Something to note as well, Manchester was level 4, Kyrie was level 3. I wanted to ask Trex this. Looking at the lineup from ONIC, we see this kind of lineup, and there's one thing. It's a risky draft. It's one of those things where you have a very small window. So what is the potential mishaps that can happen with ONIC on this draft?
I mean, as long as it's, I mean, Kyrie, yes, you don't want your jungler to go down, but Kyrie isn't going to be the major damage dealer. This definitely puts a little bit of a slower tempo to what ONIC wants to bring now. I think they know they can't try to cheese Deus Vault. I think they come into that thinking, oh, we're going to make an early EXP lane gank, but wait a second for Turtle.
They're going to actually fight for this penalty zone there. Manchester able to secure it, though. Key Boy going to be taken out. Kyrie tries to get away, but the response is there. It's a double for Kid Bomba. Now Boots going to be in trouble, surrounded here.
Oh
Gets
my
slammed down. It's a triple for Kid Bomba.
Bomba la bomba!
4-0.
Dropping it down.
3 minutes in, 4-0 right now. Deus Vault are putting down Das Boot.
That's good. That's good. Now, this is the conversation I want to have. ONIC having a full, not full, but a lot of damage on their lineup. The moment their front line can't do much, the team has to work very creatively on how they can engage into a fight and then having a clean team fight, because that's one of those things. If one part of the equation crumbles, the whole map falls apart.
And literally, all of the equations are crumbling. Boots, the Dairoth, who you want to be aggressive at first. With something. Both teams are going to back off of Boots. Has that early aggression, right? He's already taken a death. Keyboy has the early aggression. Supposed to have a big spike at level 4. Already taken a death. Now, with Kyrie taking 2 as well, what's the level difference? 6 to 6. Luckily, Kyrie's farm. Oh, wait a second.
Heavy spin already going to be used by Magister. Salo there, though, help him out with the guiding wind. So they disengage. But yeah, your points there, Trex, you know, it's going to all fall into place here, really, on how they deal with those power spikes. And so far, DEVU's done a good job.
Yeah, I kind of feel like isolating the frontliners is going to be very good, because if frontline can do well, not much can be done. Sawo finds Kyrie, but CW is there to back it up. Now the other question is, Deus Vault, how do they proceed from here? Should they increase the aggression? Like, where should they assert their dominance?
I think definitely assert dominance as much as possible in this early game. I think you come into this thinking that you might not have a good early game, and now that they do, they need to keep up the pressure, because what did we start all this with? ONIC? Oh, there's the aggression.
Taken out so quickly there. Snap of a finger, Keyboy, now the second death. Second turtle going to be up here too. Kid Bomba keeping Boots at bay. Rest of the team putting pressure on Kyrie here on the purple, so that's just going to be a turtle going to the hands of DEVU for now. ONIC just trying to scrap to stay in this game. Again, the lead for DEVU, 2.2K ahead.
Yeah, and looking at the top lane as well, I've been looking at especially the mid laners, how they've been rotating all over the map. It looks like Sans, he has to man-to-man defense against the jungle. So he's been checking the purple buff quite a bit, looking at the orange buff every once in a while to understand where Magister is. So I kind of feel like for ONIC, they're mid laners now. Oh, gonna get caught.
No. Locked down once again. And it's just like earlier as he's taken out in a split second. ONIC struggling here.
Trace, we got to talk about Keyboy's positioning. He was nowhere there.
I know, and Deus Vault's picking it apart. They're seeing those cracks in the armor right now, and they're just finding them one by one by one. I think ONIC needs to actually slow down. They're the ones who, and even this, Kyrie's positioning, yes, he should go for this, but it is very risky at this point with a 3K gold deficit.
I just like that Deus Vault, they have the understanding that they're in the driver's seat, and they're not slowing down.
Yeah, even with this, you know, again, what can you commit? Kyrie has to get back still as they work around this deficit, they work around this lead, they're trying to just buy some time. At this point, your plan for the power spike early game has been stopped, right? So ONIC, how do they deal with this? The other challenge for DEVU with the lead that they have is to make sure that it doesn't slip out of their hands as the game progresses.
So my question is actually for Naisu, when can we expect Sans to start dishing out the damage? Does he have to wait for 2 or 3 items?
Usually, I would say, 2, 3 items. I would say the 3, right?
3,
because
yeah. Now they're behind.
Yeah, now that you have Keyboy here, usually the interaction works out well, right? All he's got is the locked-in item for the Enchanted Talisman. Now, the interaction should be, okay, who's going to reduce some of that magic resistance and then work from there? This could be Kid Bomba. That's what they're going to go for, the Mystic Gush. But the kill goes to CW as they clear it through. Finally on the board for ONIC.
All right, a little win for ONIC there, and that's going to be important for them. One of the big, I think, things that's going to seal the deal here is if Deuce Vault's truly in the driver's seat, is this Turtle and the next Lord. As I mentioned, even with Kyrie maybe not doing that great. Oh,
they're going to go for it. Circling Eagle going to be popped down. Still, Sawa taking so much damage. Has to back off. There's the airtime. Magister going to pop the heavy spin. But he's zoned down Sands with a Mystic Gush once again. Kyrie will get the Turtle here. ONIC now fighting back into this game, lowering that gold lead.
We talked about this before the game starts. ONIC does this. They'll be like, oh, you guys have a chance, and then all of a sudden 1 or 2 items, and then they make the change.
I want to point out, when you asked about the itemization earlier, Keyboy did just pick up the Genius Wand before that fight unfolded, and that's what I was looking for, right? The interaction with the Gourd and the Kadita, it took them a little bit longer. They need a little more time, but now that you have that, right, you have the Genius Wand there paired up with the true damage from this Gourd. That's where it gets troublesome in terms of damage control against ONIC if you're DEVU. Look at this, already whittled down that gold lead. We're going to look for a play here in the bottom. Carvey going to be in trouble. Gets taken out. Sawo next as he falls as well in the bottom lane. ONIC decisive in the bottom.
So before, the rotations were a little sloppy. They were a little bit, getting picked off one by one. But once ONIC starts to come together as a unit, now they're the ones catching those weaknesses in Deuce Vault.
I gotta say as well, while Nice was talking about the item Sans, getting that Lightning Truncheon, it's very special to see how ONIC, they have this discipline that the moment they get what they want, their entire personality in game changes.
I don't know, man. ONIC, even, I don't know how they do it, man. Like, how do you have Boots, who's 0-1, still come in and just unloading damage? Keyboy, who starts the game 0-1, 0-2, just unloading. Deus Vault, and it doesn't feel like Deus Vault is doing anything incredibly wrong here.
Exactly, I agree.
But ONIC is just kind of outclassing them in some of these team fights.
So what does Deus Vault have to do now? Because the goal lead isn't that different. Like, it's not 1,000 different, so should they move as a team as well? Because I see that difference between Deus Vault and ONIC.
They're playing. One thing that they're doing well is keep our eyes on Kid Bomba. He's taking some offlane towers. He's trying to make sure the lanes stay even. And as long as they can do that, what it's going to come down to is these Lord fights. And I still think Magister has a good opportunity in trying to zone Kyrie away. But the way he approaches these, the way his teams and Carvey approaches these fights is going to be critical in them.
I kind of feel like at this point, they got to focus on Keyboy as well as Sans. Take them out first, because if not, you're going to take way too much unnecessary damage. Because the poke coming in from ONIC is much stronger than Deus Vault.
Well, even this, already the poke potential coming through. Lord still going to be worked on. Circling Eagle used, but no commitment. Conceal going to be next. Keyboy looking for his own setup there. Going to get spotted out though. Goes in. Won't be able to land it just yet. Finds one still. Heavy spin also going to be utilized. Mystic Gush comes down. Whoa! They find him, but Magister gets the Lord. They're still going to have to win the fight. Boots, everybody alive from ONIC. Kid Bomba went down, but DEVU secures the objective.
Let me just say, that was an amazing play coming in. Deus Vault, sure, Kid Bomba was sacrificed, but Magister secured the Lord, even through all the poke coming in from ONIC?
And what was the questions we were just having? How is he going to deal with Kyrie?
Yeah.
Can he match with the S tiers? And right now, Magister definitely performing, even at a deficit, even at having an issue, he's able to secure possibly one of the most important objectives right now.
One of the interesting as well for the Akai here for Magister, he has the Azure Blade to make sure that he's top on mana. Very interesting build by him.
Yeah, those guys, when we talked about in the interview. They said to watch out. Now the bottom side going to be the focus. Once again, Kyrie going to get caught out, in trouble here. Let's see the response. Sawo, though, taken out really quickly. Still Magister there on the backside. Boots going to be taken out. Lord finally works on. Heavy spin comes down. CW, though, still alive amidst it all. Carvey will get taken out. How is ONIC still fighting back? Kid Bomba comes in, jumps in. Kyrie, though, Magister 1 hit away. It'll be a double for Kyrie. It's Kid Bomba left alone, but he gets taken out. Everybody gone from DEVU. It's a wipeout.
How long was that team fight that we see 2 ults from Kyrie?
Yeah.
Right? 2 Appraiser's Wrath. He did it the first time to start things off, and then the second time as well. And like I said, this Volt, find a way to deal with Sans. Find a way to deal with Keyboy. Because they got CW, and they still lost.
So there was a critical point in that team fight. Carvey was getting some free shots. He tries to get the person that's pinned. I can't remember exactly who it was. I think it was Boots. But he has to walk into the Magic Gush to do it.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like trying to play it, and then he dashes away, but he takes too much damage, and then finally he gets burned out. And that's just, I think that was the big critical moment where that team fight turned around.
CW as well, because we got to talk about how Akai's heavy spin works, because there are portions where you can use your skills. And what CW used was the Wind of Nature.
Yeah.
And that was enough to keep him surviving against Carvey.
Yeah, and technically he should have been taken out, right? But the fact that the way that he utilized the Wind of Nature, able to survive that longer, bring the fight further on, and then, yeah, you're working against that Mystic Gush, right? It's a long beam that you have to kind of work around.
No wonder you like this hero.
Hey.
It's kind of good.
Yeah,
It's kind of good.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. You know, there's,
Yeah,
let's not talk about that. I know we don't want to talk about that, Trex, right? Hey, it's all right. Right now, though, as they kind of work around this, they're going to continue to get the space here on the map. 10 seconds away from that Lord Carvey. Now getting tier 2 in the mid lane, though. Keyboy should be fine, as he is. Now everybody getting a position for the objective.
So Sokovia really doing work. I'm looking at Kid Bomba as well as Magister, but more importantly, Saul. Saul can bring someone straight onto Sans, but the positioning coming in from Kyrie Boots is not giving opportunity. Saul sees Sans, but he's thinking about it. Does he want to circling Eagle in?
You know, I gotta say, what Deus Vault's doing very well right now is consistently attacking those side lanes. They just sent Carvey over to take the tier 2 in the bot side, and that is gonna be one of the things that maybe helps them out, helps them hang on to this game and push it to the late.
Okay, right now, Keyboy waiting patiently there. It's gonna get spotted out. Lord's still gonna be worked on. It's half health here. Mystic Gush gonna come down. Saul has to get back. Still gonna be finding Boots there in the front of it all. Another penalty zone comes down. Still working for it. Boots taken out. Winter Trotching gonna be used. Still looking at the hair time though. CW goes in with the crossbow of Tang. Takes out Kid Bomba. But the positioning for the Lord here, they're gonna zone out Kyrie, and they will get the Lord for DEVU.
DEVU's control, man! What? They can control the Lord against ONIC. This is
Unprecedented.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at these items now, and they're doing this. Here's the thing, man. They're doing this with a gold deficit. This is something you only normally see from the likes of Blacklist, AP Bren, ONIC, you know, Geek Fam, whoever, top S-tier teams, right? Not from the Dark Horse. And right now, they are showing that they're willing to take those 50-50s. They're willing to take those risks, even when they are behind 3K gold.
Hey,
Dark Knights, man.
Put them there with the best right now, because they're still here in that upper bracket. And right now, they're doing a great job against ONIC, despite that lead that they have. Gonna go ahead and clear up this tier 1, the Lord up on the top side.
Right now, for ONIC, they have a gold lead, but as well, they definitely have the prio in the positioning all around the map. They're controlling this very, very well, and I feel like this Volt, they're playing this well because they're able to bait out a lot of key skills coming in from ONIC, and then once they use that, they find that window to strike.
All right.
Oh, already gonna use Mystic Gush, though. This Kid Bomba should be fine, quite tanky himself, but this is a lot of checking here with the kit that ONIC has. One of the great things, too, about having a Gourd is the ability to clear these lanes pretty quickly, right? As the game goes on, it's a great high ground defense hero that lets you keep control of some of these lanes, some of these minion pushes in.
Okay, so as this game goes on, I'm trying to think if we get into that 20-minute mark, if we get to that 60K gold mark, you know, where does everybody stand? Look at the damage dealt from Sans.
That's my boy.
Literally almost double of what Sunset Lover's doing. CW falling right after that, but into the late game, right? Carvey, we know he's going to start chunking. I feel like Boots will slowly start to fall off, will slowly start to have less impact, as Kid Bomba's going to have a much larger impact in these objective fights. Here's the thing, though. If CW never gets picked off, he is going to consistently capitalize on Kid Bomba. He's going to consistently capitalize on Sawo every time they try to do that circling eagle in. Yep. So they need to be careful about CW and keep tabs on him in these team fights.
All right, gentlemen, now we got to talk about the proactive play, because DEVU, they have been doing very well at the Lord fights. And already a flicker being used. The question is, what is DEVU going to be fighting for? Because if they keep fighting for the Lord, it's always going to be a risk. But once you get the Lord, what are you looking for next?
Movement right around the map. That's great. Given that whole kind of idea of this Lord, it's great that they got the flicker out from Sans, right? He is top of the damage meter right now, doing a lot of checking, a lot of checking of these bushes and everything. So if they can utilize the fact that Sans might be pressure, right, to either cut the Mystic Gust short or even get the kill, DEVU is going to have a high favor in this Lord Dance as they go ahead and get in position.
Yep, right now the Lord Dance has started. Kyrie as well as Magister. Looks like Kyrie is able to leash the Lord to the side. Sans, we saw that.
What
was a mistake.
that?
This DEVU,
Yeah, they know.
is DEVU going to use this
Did they
mistake?
see it?
Are they going to use this window?
They've got to have that information. Again, no flicker, no ultimate available for Sans. That is a big resource gone, but still, DEVU taking their time with this Lord Dance. Kyrie and everybody waiting in position. Boots, look at Keyboy's positioning as well. Sans gonna have it once again, staying there from the distance.
Keyboy.
No one committing just yet.
Keyboy hiding out in that tri-bush right now. I'm just waiting for the big play to happen, but DEVU has to be prepared for it. Here he comes.
Gonna go in for the backside, trying to find Carvey. Carvey could be in trouble. Mystic Gust gonna come down. Airtime is there from CW. Sawo in trouble. Gonna get whittled down as he falls. And ONIC claps back in a decisive moment. And it's DEVU running back.
Dude, Kyrie still got that Lord?
First Lord, though.
Kyrie!
That's how it feels probably right now.
Hold on, they might try to end.
Yeah, they're going to go for the base. Carvey going to be in trouble once again. Gets taunted. The damage is too much. And now it's Sunset Lover and Magister trying to keep them at bay. Minions going to be cleared very quickly. ONIC, though. Can they end it here? Waves pushing in. They're going to go in and stun. Still Sunset Lover. They got to wait a little bit longer. Base going to be worked on, though. Here comes the next wave.
Kid Bomba.
Kid Bomba now up. Can they keep him at bay? ONIC, huge lead. Gonna focus him down. Mystic Gust is too much as Magister gonna be taken out. The airtime once again from CW. Sawo trying to keep Sans at bay, but another body's gonna fall. It's a double Sunset Lover. Winter Tranchant gonna be utilized, but it won't be enough as ONIC takes game number 1.
DEVU controlled the game for as long as they can, but this is ONIC. They find their win conditions. 1 item, 2 item, they're gonna move forward, they're gonna challenge you, and in game number 1, they won the challenge.
And they always do it when it matters. All they had to do was take the Lord, and then once they got 2 members down, they knew 2 or 3 members down, they knew exactly, oh, we can win this. This is endable right here. This is possible. And they just ran it down mid, and it was very reminiscent of previous games from the side of ONIC there. All it takes is 1 Lord for them. All it takes is 1 team fight, and they always capitalize on it.
Like I was saying, man, with that lead that DEVU managed to, to get in the early to mid game, and then it was like, how long can they keep it up? Can they continue to maintain that? But that's one of the things about ONIC, right? They always know that even if they're down, for example, they know where to punish. They know how to punish those mistakes. And if it's down to just, securing this Lord, sometimes this fight went this way or that way, but ultimately they know how to check those boxes off, which led them to taking this game number 1. Again, great showing here from DEVU, though. Magnificent also to just, see the Gord get the win. It worked really well with Kadita. I love to see it happen.
I would say still, looking at how they play, DEVU has a very good chance here, because I feel like they should learn, physically understand what happened in the game, and we got to look at the adjustments. We got to talk about ONIC first. We got to talk about the MVP of the game. And I kind of feel like in this game, it could have gone to anyone, but it looks like it's going over to Kyrie. Here, the crowd scream.
That's that camera work.
Yeah,
man.
5
He
to
should've flipped his
11.
hair.
He
Yeah, he
should have.
should've.
He should have. Anyways, 5 to 11. I think what really earns him the MVP here is he gets that last Lord,
That
right?
last Lord, yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah.
like everybody played decent. It wasn't their greatest game in all honesty, but the moment when it mattered, Kyrie did finally step up there.
Yeah, it's that was, when it came down to it, this is why in those, pressurous moments, and you're working against an Akai, right, who typically is going to try to zone you out with a heavy spin, or at least make it a little more, difficult to get there, but Kyrie pulls it off with, the Fredrin pick, which we used to see so much of, kind of has come out here once again for M5, but you see how much of a struggle ONIC had here in the early part.
All right, so in the beginning, ONIC already losing out. DEVU just showing that they had their cards read a little bit. ONIC wants to bring this early game aggression, but DEVU catch them off guard, securing 4 kills literally within the first few minutes. Now, this is the turtle when things almost start to really turn around and go back into the hands of ONIC. CW finally comes online, gets a couple items in, but Magistor helps DEVU hang on by stealing the first Lord of the game there. And again, they want to try to bring that fight. They're at a deficit, but CW keeps such great distance here, able to consistently outrange them and consistently put damage down onto the whole team of DEVU. Kid Bomba, he knows he's in a bad spot here. He wants to try to force it, but still ends up going down.
Honestly, I'm still thinking about the final fight where Sans used a lot of abilities. He already used the Flicker, he already used the Mystic Gush, and yet still somehow, looking at this fight, ONIC still won. It's like they played around Sans thinking that he's going to be the prime target.
Yeah.
We're going to use Sans as bait, and then they all collapse.
That's the thing about it, right? A lot of the times when that gourd is there across from you, you want to take it out as fast as possible, but then you forget about CW even, right? And that's why so many times, usually when a 1-1's locked in, we see the struggle to get the crossbow of Tang off, right? Because teams kind of play around that. But this time, CW had airtime all the time, it seemed like in every single fight. But again, great performance here for ONIC to adjust from that deficit they had early game.
I would say it's fine. Now that I'm looking at the emblem set here, Sans having that cooldown, and he has the Enchanted Talisman as well, make it so that he could spam that Mystic Gush, even if he used it early. It's like, guys, it's fine. It will come up very soon.
And it did come, like in that game when he accidentally, I don't know what happened there, but when it did happen, he literally had the green dot up, I feel like in another 15, 20 seconds, nothing at all. Overall, I mean, just from that game, it shows DEVU got almost every objectives, 2 out of 3 turtles, 2 out of 3 lords, but ONIC just finds that one. They consistently held a gold lead from about, I want to say, the 6-7 minute mark forward. DEVU were just kind of hanging on to that point, but in the end, ONIC just felt like it was all part of the plan. It was all part of the plan for them. They felt comfortable even when they were behind a little bit.
Rich Guy, CW, to carry Sans, Sandbag Magister, and Forgotten One, CW. And I want to keep talking about this because I like whenever we have any kind of international series, especially the World Series, how different it is from, or how it developed from day one all the way to now, where I was talking about how teams are trying to find extra ways to dish out damage. And in this game, ONIC, having Keyboy, he's the extra damage.
Yeah, there's a lot of extra damage here. When you look at the lineup, and I love that you pointed out in the draft too. Lefel, you were mentioning about Keyboy here, possibly going towards that Kadita, and that's why I think once again when you really point at Keyboy and Sans, the way they interacted here for this game, it worked so well. And then of course you overlap that too with Boots. He played the Dyroth, who has kind of risen back up here, and it worked well with CW.
Most definitely. I think it worked well. I think there was obviously a little bit of issue. I think the main thing is DEVU focused very hard on a Kyrie there. They came into the XP lane a lot, but what ended up being one of the biggest issues for them was